live. We are live. We are live. So, Ridge, you not gonna try the game?
I'll probably wait for release. I may try it when it comes out. Dude, I'm not into Overwatch and shit, and it's like, I'm not a hero shooter kind of guy.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yo, J-Dub.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, you good now. I hear Ridge now.
All right.
Ridge over there niggling up your stream.
Yeah, Mr. Niggles.
Oh man, it's fucked up.
Hey, you know we got to get you with that, Ridge. That's crazy. Okay. Add this, guys, and we're gonna switch and make a transition over to the live stream. We know you guys can hear us. Come on in here. I'm gonna tweet this out. That way we can get a couple of hundred people in here. Dr. Joe better not ask to come back on the show. Y'all be just yells and get violent. All right, let me make this transition. There we go. There we go. You guys can hear us loud and clear. Come on in. A-Run Palamine, my brother. Mike, let me tweet this stream out. Y'all can hear us. Y'all can hear us now. I was streaming directly from the PS5. Well, I found out that I guess the PS5 doesn't pass through Discord traffic to the chat when you're live streaming. So I think that's a thing.
Just another reason for you to go PC, man.
Oh man, refuse to go PC, brother. I don't want to deal with those problems. All the cheaters and all the anime avatars.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those. Definitely.
Dude, when I see
anime
those, I
avatars.
run from them, man. I'm like, oh man, here we go, another weirdo.
100%. Can't deny.
Yep. Well, we're live now. Johnny J. He said, I'm a bit low. All right, let me raise my mic up. Say some, Ridge.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo,
All right,
yo,
I-
yo,
I
yo,
think
yo,
we-
yo.
I think we're good. All right, all right. We got 20 people coming in here. Thank y'all for coming back. We had about 50 in the other stream on the PS5, so we'll probably get 100 and some here pretty soon.
So let me
Anyway.
ask you.
Go ahead.
Is Concord, is it going to make it? I don't think it's going to make it, man.
Don't know. But if you ask me this,
There's
though,
a lot of the PlayStation diehards that I see,
Mhm.
they're just hating on it too.
No, absolutely. But that's why I decided to make the show and ask the question, why all the hate? Like I said, we've seen other PlayStation games, right? Some been duds, some been goatees, some been mid. But I've never seen the type of like vitriolic type hate for a game that hasn't released yet. And I get it. If it's not your type of game, it's not your type of game. I don't advocate for people playing some shit that they don't like, right? Or that's not their type of thing. If I'm a Madden or 2K guy, I don't expect you to play, you know, some other shit. You're just gonna play what you play. But for some reason, this game is bringing out the vitriol. And that's the question. It's not about whether you think it's a good game or not, because obviously the game hadn't released. A lot of people say that they're liking it. A lot of people are just for the love of them. Oh, I played 2 minutes of it. I hate it. This is the worst thing ever. Blah, 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 blah. And they just go on this vitriolic rage. And my thing is like, dude, I don't even think I've seen that in The Last of Us. The type of shit I'm hearing for this game, it's like, why can't you, if this game's not for you, why can't you treat it the same way you treated Destruction All Stars and what's the other Splatoon type game that Square Enix did? Foam Stars. Yeah, just treat it like you did that, right? Just
I think
you know, but it's but like you said earlier, Rich, you said part of it has to do is the fact that it's a Sony first party game, so you're gonna get some of the haters from that, and then and then 100%. You were going to say some other stuff, but then we found out they couldn't hear you, so we switched over here. But you just, I know you haven't played the game, so you can't give your
I have not played
step by step.
Like when it comes to gameplay or anything like that, I ain't got nothing. I'll just say again, it's just generic looking. I think part of it is like the release, like the release cadence of Sony right now. People are just pissed. People are still pissed about The Last of Us. And I think this game is going to get hate because people are going to see this game and be like, why couldn't we get factions when I've already seen it a few times on Twitter. People like, why couldn't we get
want
factions?
this, I want factions.
They could release this. Yeah. Like, we couldn't get factions.
Okay.
But we got this Concord game. That's it. Like, again, just outside looking in, it's an Overwatch clone. Is essentially what it is.
Well,
I think you have millions upon millions of people who play Overwatch, right? It's still played by millions, so all those people are just going to hate on it just for the fact that it's an Overwatch clone. Like, they're not even going to give it a chance. It's kind of like when Call of Duty, whenever a Call of Duty clone comes out, everybody just bashes it because Call of Duty's a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I will say this, as somebody who's played it, who's put a couple hours in it. First thing I've noticed, the graphics, and the graphics are top notch. They are Sony first party, like art style graphics, sharp as a pencil. Like, they really put their foot in the graphics of the game. So
no, I 100% think it's a good looking game. It's a good looking game.
Yeah,
for sure.
For those out there, I've played it and I've said it's not Overwatch and it's not Destiny. They have some characters that float, like it has that Destiny float. You know, Destiny is not really a quick game. You know, it's not like a Halo or something like, you know, multiplayer where everything is like, it's not like a Twitch shooter. But some of the characters have that floaty Destiny type when you jump type design. And you have some of the modes and things like that that kind of resembles or just taken from Overwatch. But it's not either of those games. And you notice that as soon as you pick it up and you start playing it, it's not either of those games. But I think obviously it's taken inspiration from all of those games. But who knows? Maybe some of the hate is the fact that there's Overwatch players, and of course they're gonna hate all other shooters, right? That's competing with their games that they want, that they like. And then you have the other side of it. It's a Sony first party game, so of course you're gonna get hate from people that that hate Sony or PlayStation or whatever. And then the other side is kind of like what you said, Rich. Some people like, well, I want, Sony, give me your first party games, but this is not what I wanted. I want The Last of Us Factions. I want, where are the other games at? So Sony has a lot of frustration that's pent up against it from them not showing their hand. And so I do see some of that. But I don't know. Out of all the games, like Helldivers didn't receive this type of hate. Final Fantasy didn't.
Yeah, but the
receive
difference,
this type,
I guess, again, I haven't played it, right?
Yeah.
But Helldivers was good.
But they're not saying why they hate it. It's just they hate it. That's what I'm saying. Like I can totally understand if you tell me, man, I tried it. I tried that shit. I hate it because X, Y, and Z. Dude, you get no argument from me because obviously gaming is subjective, right? Like Porter Rock, he hates racing games, right? I'm a racing game guy, right? I play any and every racer ever in the world. He hates racing. So, of course, he's going to hate anything race. That's like asking him, what do you think about Forza or GT? He'll be like, man, don't ask me about that bullshit. I hate those. And so I definitely understand that. But it's like, this game, it's like, and here's the thing, and this is what's puzzling. It's not just from Xbox guys. It's from some PlayStation guys. It's from some PC guys. It's just like a disdain for this game that I didn't see. And it's not. I'll tell you that it's not a bad game. I'm far from saying it's the best shooter or best game out there, but I do know the motherfucker is not a Bleeding Edge or Battletoads or some shit like that, right? It's not a dud. It just may not be the game that is for you or the game to take you away from COD or whatever. We just saw X Defiant came out. It came out to some mixed reviews, but mostly positive to me, if you ask me. Then you got a bunch of guys like, I don't want this. I wanted to soak him. I wanted this or I wanted it that. And so it's just a combination of a bunch of different areas of where this hate and anger is coming from. So that's what I wanted to talk about. In gaming right now, what do gaming is in a weird position right now. Now, I do need to say this before I say what I'm going to say. I understand Twitter and YouTube is very small, right? We count for a fraction of a fraction. The average Joe Blow don't know who we are. They don't know what type of games we play. They don't give a shit. We like to think that we're the majority, but we're not. We're a super, super, super minority. The majority of gamers out there are casuals. They just see a good looking game or they just see something and they buy it and they play it and that's it. They don't know. They're not in the know. They don't know what's going on with Microsoft and PlayStation and stuff. So with that being said, a lot of it, I do feel like it's coming from a lot of content creators. And it could be we're at a point in time in gaming right now where it's, and this is from both sides. And I know, because I know Xbox gets it from me, right? And I'm going to throw myself in there. I'm not exempt. That's what we do. We podcast, we fanboy out, we do this shit for entertainment. We do it for your laughs and stuff like that. But we're gamers at the end of the day, right? We get off the podcast, we go and boot up our PCs or our PlayStations or our Xbox, and we just zone out and do what we do. But this here is like, are we at that point in gaming where all of these corporations are spending all these mega billions of dollars trying to please a fan base that cannot be pleased? And then if that's the case, what happens when that corporation decide to no longer invest in something? Because if I'm trying to watch my words because I don't want to come across as something that I'm not trying to say, but let's say Concord is a dud. Like, call it a dud. Okay, fine, it's a dud. Let's move on to the next game. But let's say the next game come out and then Because I'm seeing this for games that I thought like are really, really good games. But I'm starting to see people like they can't wait for the game to come out just solely so they can hate the game. Now, Rich, I said it earlier when we were streaming.
Look. We go on the show, right?
Yeah.
So like,
now this is without the capping though. Obviously, yeah. It is the show is designed to be 99% cap.
Yeah, facts.
We get they call Z out all the time.
It's like Z says, bro. It's like Z says. Motherfuckers think it's real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, our real opinions could vary widely. But back to what you're saying about like you can't please everybody, dog. Look at Diablo. I don't know if you're a Diablo player, right?
I'm a Diablo player.
But like when Diablo 4 came out, everybody was hating on it. And they literally what they tried to do when they released it was create like a Diablo 2 clone. They had the idea that you're going to play this game forever to build your shit. It's going to take you years to get everything for your build. And modern gamers, they're just not satisfied with that like they were back in the day. I think a lot of these games, they're going to get hate because gamers have gotten to a point where like it's like the big games, that's what they want and they want it all the time. And any game that tries to break into that, it's just not going to work. Like look at Halo, the reason Halo is where it's at today is because they stopped listening. They tried to cater to all these people, right? And instead of being Halo, they're like, oh, let's make a Call of Duty clone. Let's make this. Let's make Halo this. And it wasn't until Infinite that we got a Halo game that was Halo, but by then, all the Halo players are gone.
They'd already left.
They've moved on. Yeah. And Concord, because of that look, because it like, dude, when I watch the game again, I haven't played it. It's just, I've seen it before. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going to make me drop Halo? What's going to make me drop Warzone and go and play that game?
Well,
and like,
let me say this.
Modern gamers are satisfied by nothing.
I don't think, see, here's the thing. When it comes to these shooters in gaming, the company's goal is not to get you to drop COD because that's impossible. The goal is to not get you to drop Apex Legends or Valorant or any of those things. But it's to say, just like X Defiant, the game just came out. It may get 2%, 3% of that market, but that 2 and 3% is enough. You're never going to be 1%. You're never going to be the COD.
Yeah,
you're never going to be the Halo. You're never going to be, but it's enough money where it's like, if we can just exist in this space, that money that comes in, that recurring money is enough for us. That's how I think companies are looking at this stuff, because you would say so like prior to X Defiant dropping, prior to some of these other shooters come out that's dropping. Even Helldivers 2, a lot of people were saying, well, it's DOA because nobody's going to stop playing COD and Warzone and all these other, they're not going to stop. And it's like, they're not going to stop. But if you can exist, even if you can exist at 1, 2%, 3%, that's enough for these companies. And if they pull out 2 or 3, 4 of those games that get 2 or 3%, that collectively, right? Like, let's say if Sony's next 3 live service games hit, right? And they take up 2%, 3% of the market each. Well, that's 10% of the market. That may be enough for PlayStation to be like, hey, we got 10% of the market revenue that's coming back in this space that's all about recurring revenue. Sony didn't have any game that was recurring revenue. Now it would have 5 games or 6 games that's recurring revenue. You see what I'm saying? I think that's how companies, not just Sony, I think that's how anybody that comes into the shooting space have to look at it. You can't build a game that's going to dethrone Call of Duty. I don't believe so. Because Call of Duty has been #1 for fucking 20 years now, right? At least it seems like it's been that long. I think
here's the thing. As far as the negativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most gamers aren't going on Twitter and saying anything.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They don't say anything. They don't go into the YouTube and make a video. Most gamers don't go on Twitter and talk about the game at all. Good, bad, nothing. So everything we see being negative really doesn't reflect the market at all. You know what I'm saying? Like most people, they don't talk about games at all. Like they might talk about it with their friends, but they're not on Twitter like Concord looks generic. Concord is it like most of the people who are gonna try it ain't saying a goddamn thing. You know what I mean? We have no idea what their opinion is. And if Sony can hold on to, you know, let's just say 10,000 people that play the game all the time and put the money towards it, that's probably a success to them. If they're constantly on there, if they get a few whales, they're good. They only need, like, bro, it was like 1,000 people propping up Diablo Immortal. 1,000 people were in a Discord. Each of them spent like $50K on the game. The game had millions of people playing it, but only 1,000 people were really propping up the game.
True.
They don't need, you're right, they don't need to kill COD, but they need a substantial player base. I'd say if they had 10,000 every week, they'd probably be happy, honestly. It doesn't seem like a lot of people, but those 10,000 people are going to be the ones who spend money on the game, etc., you know?
I totally agree. I just, for the love of me, we've seen, I mean, Ridge, we've seen these things happen before. We've seen games come and go. But I don't know, maybe the senses are heightened because it is a PlayStation game, right? Maybe if it was a Square Enix game, well, I don't know, because Square Enix games get shit for being, you know, on PlayStation too. So I don't know. This game could come, right? It could just be another shooter and it would move on. It would just call it an L and move on. It could be. Or it could come and do decent numbers and that may be enough for Sony. Or it could actually come out and then the masses could actually pick it up. Because right now, the only people able to play are people with PlayStation Plus and people who've actually pre-ordered the game. And we know people who pre-ordered the game on PC are probably going to be a little bit less likely to have pre-ordered the game because the open beta comes out, I think, in a couple of days. So I think once we get the open beta where any and everybody can play it, that'll give us a little bit more... you know, Blaze, my brother. Hey, listen, I'm in Discord. I'll send you a invite right now. Let me.
And honestly, I don't know, man. I honestly feel like if they had 10,000 players religiously on the game, I think they'd be happy.
I agree. I agree. But I'll tell you. And I know you haven't played it, Rich, but what I tell you, just little by little, booted up the game. The first thing I noticed is the graphics. They're really fucking good graphics. You can tell it's a Sony first party game according to the graphics. I've tried about 5 characters that I've kind of stuck with and leveled up. Those were the ones I was showing you on the last stream when I was streaming it from the PS5. The variety of characters are pretty good. I enjoy those characters. So I think I'm going to spend a lot more time in it. I also ended up playing half of my time on the PlayStation Portal. So, you know, that was a varied experience that I have. So just giving you some detail.
Could never play anything remotely. Bro, ain't no way.
Yeah. And I will say this. I did notice... the latency on the Portal in that game because it's a shooter. Obviously, all shooters you're gonna need the lowest amount of latency.
And it's online,
and it's online, and it's online, right? So obviously, that's that. But from a graphical standpoint, it's on sound. You know, obviously, you know.
When the open beta drops, I'll probably just grab it. I have PS Plus, but I'll wait for the open beta.
I'll tell you this. I want to try it
if you want it, bro.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We appreciate it, Blaze.
Will it work on Steam?
PC?
Yeah, I think it's for Steam. I gotta check.
Yeah. How many of those do you have, Blaze?
I think I got 3 of them. I think they're first. I'm pretty sure. I'll give you one too. You can test it out.
Yeah,
JW.
if you can give me and Ridge one, I appreciate you, brother.
I'll boot it up
and,
right
and,
now.
and, and we'll play it on PC and join together as a group and make a run at it, and because obviously, and I'll tell people this.
Let me quit out of this Halo.
Yeah, you should have been did that.
No, never.
Oh, he is the Halo guy, so you'll never be able to get him.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the Halo guy, so you'll
Onyx every playlist, dog. I'm a fucking
esports
monster, dog.
Yeah, he be going to
I actually
tournaments
like
and shit.
Halo
So
Infinite.
Hey, I play it too on PC as well, man. But if you don't got one, it's cool.
Listen.
Yeah.
If-
Well, I
if-
got it on
if these work, you can have-
on
you can have
PS5.
it.
I just don't have it on. Yeah.
Yeah, I got them on PS5.
Yeah.
But J-Dub, I agree with you. Visually, the game is.
Mhm.
I mean, it's clearly polished like to a fucking T. Everything looks good, animation, shit like that. That's not my
Yeah.
problem with the game at all, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I knew. That's why when people bring
let
up,
me,
Destiny
let me
developers,
ask
I'm
you
like,
this: what
Yeah.
you've put in some time with it? What kind of gamer are you, and what do you like about the game and what you don't like about the game? Where they could tailor. Here's the thing. Before you say that, this is one of those gray areas, right? It's like a company wants to make a game or is making a game that they vision you playing. You in return tell them, I don't want this. I want you to take this game and make it like this game, or make it like that game. So, is that fair to say? Like what some of the people that don't like it are saying? I would like it for it to be like this game or that game versus your game.
You want to know my complaints? If I could change anything, I would change the time to kill. Right away, I would change the time to kill. I think it. Bro, when you have like a minigun and I'm shooting this dude, like I'm dead ass like 30 rounds, and we're talking about a stack of health. Like
it takes about 6 seconds.
I like more, but it's all preference. You know what I mean? Like you're an Overwatch player. That's why I knew this game was like, oh, Blaze, Destiny developers. Okay, they might have helped out, but this is more tailored to an Overwatch type of a game. And I know you like that type of game, and for me, I don't like them type of games. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's all preference. But people saying, oh, they're showing Steam numbers, bro. This game, when's this game launching, J-Dog?
August next month, August 24th, I think.
Next month, bro. Listen, and I'm not making excuses for it, but I usually don't pre-order a game like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not pre-ordering the game a month and a half out. I'm not not giving nobody $70 a month and a half out. Like, you feel me? It's just
it's a by the way, it's a $40 game,
and you gotta pay for that. Yeah, $40. And but you know PC gamers, they're a little, they're on the cheap side, bro. So I'm just saying, those numbers could change. We can't just say, oh, there was 1,000 people playing the game, it's dead.
Exactly.
But, who knows? Who knows? This game could turn around. It can be very successful. For me, it's not my type of game. That's why I said in my Twitter video, that's going all over the place. Like, people getting mad. Like, some people are agreeing with me, but at the end of the day, bro, it's just not my type of game. I'm not disrespecting you. If you want to play, enjoy it, bro. I'm not here to fucking.
I will say this, talking about like the high TTK, just watching everybody who's played it. Like I've probably watched like an hour or so of the game. Nobody's playing the game right now, so it's hard to. It's hard to judge a game on its TDK right now when it's not. Like, I see a lot of people playing it, and a lot of people are treating it like they would like Call of Duty or any other shooter. Like, everybody's just kind of running around like a chicken with their heads cut off. Everybody's just trying to get kills, but it's not that kind of game.
It's not that kind of game.
Like, it wants you to play like super teamwork. It wants to be Overwatch. It really does. Like, just watching it, like the way
if you don't play it
interact with
properly,
each other, like that's
with the correct characters, maybe one tank, one assault, one because you'll get a team that has like 3 high flyers. They're all in the air, just fucking shooting you, and then you got another team like with 3 tanks, and nobody's healing, and nobody's like, and I get it because I was playing with my brother Craig Harris last night. We got mopped because people were actually they were as you could tell, they were friends. They were using strategy. When they would get pinned down one way, half of the team would go around behind us and take us out. And I was like, yeah, we need to play it as a team. But it's hard to teach somebody who's fresh in these type of games and to teach them that how to play a game, because most people, like you said,
you know who we have to blame for that though? Like if
who?
you can't,
oh yeah, like Sony.
People need to read. People need to fucking read.
Well,
and
true,
secondly,
because they
like,
do.
J-Dub, I'm playing the game and I'm realizing, just like you said, like, damn, nobody's even a healer. Like, I changed my character just because of that.
Nobody's playing the game.
Nobody's healing.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that's
Yeah.
a good point too.
Yeah, Overwatch games
that's the
need to
thing.
be played as a team, because if not, they're you know what
Yeah,
I mean? It
it's all
destroys
about
the fun.
it's all about your team composition and counter picking another player. It's like rock paper scissors essentially.
Yep.
And if you don't make the right team comp, like yeah, the guy you were shooting, maybe he did take half a clip with your minigun, but like he's probably a tank and is probably made to where, you know, you guys have to work together to kill the tank. I don't know. I haven't played it, but just watching it,
Yeah.
people are playing it like Call of Duty, and this is what I see in it's not just this game. I see this in every game because that's a vast majority of people nowadays. They don't play these games right. Like, they don't play Halo right. They don't play Gears right. Like, people... The Call of Duty players will leave. Yeah, the Call of Duty players will end up leaving, and then you'll know what the game really is. That's what every game happens.
I mean, I don't think the developers did a good job though explaining on like what type of game, like, you know what I mean? Like bro, all that
For
Destiny
sure.
talk,
For sure.
I'm telling you, was stupid. Like, yo, oh, Destiny, like, bro, this plays like Jacob. This plays like Destiny to you? It don't to me. Not even close. Dog. Like, I don't get it.
The feeling. It's here's the thing. Just, and you have to think about it this way. Just because the team have helped out and they did some, if you play certain characters, it has that flow. And I've said this when I was streaming earlier, and even yesterday on Craig Harris' podcast. The feeling is of some of these characters is like you're in the Destiny world. It has that floaty feeling, like even when you jump, you know, there's like you jump and it's kind of floaty. It takes you about yeah. It's that type of feeling. It's like, okay, I can see that. But just, you know, it's really ultimately, I think where Bungie helped out was more so it would be the back end net code. It would be some of the other things such as, you know, how you gonna monetize this stuff. You got to have your content ready with your characters and stuff like that. I don't think they physically put their hands on it, try to make it like Destiny. I think that was more so of us saying, hey, this is a collaboration or an effort from the Bungie guys and the Firewalk team, which some of them, you know, they're looking to try to do the whole capture some of the people from Overwatch or whatever. And as an Overwatch guy, right, but thousands of hours, I used to play with Blaze, you know, Blue Envy. Her and I used to play a lot. And it's just one of those things where I think at the end of the day, I think the game is going to be okay. These early, it's not even open beta, right? It's just the early beta or whatever. I think I would like to see it a week from now. What's the take on it from you know, you're not going to sway everybody. It's impossible to grab anybody from COD. It's just that's just what it is. But if you're a COD player and you jump over to every game thinking it's COD, then you're going to call it trash and then go back to COD. Yeah. Right. That's why I say it's hard to get people out of there.
Overwatch players.
Well, okay, so that's that's a whole nother that's a whole nother ball game. But like I said, Heath, earlier, you don't have to grasp all of the card players or whatever. Even if you can grasp 5-6%, that may be enough for you to exist in that gaming space, in that live service space, to exist and to make, you know.
If the Overwatch players are pissed off and you give them that outlet, they might jump. Yeah. You know,
that's
Overwatch,
but
players
as an Overwatch, as an Overwatch player, no, I know it's through the team. It's like the most. I think the ratings right now is like negative. Yeah, negative. Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. So we know that.
Yeah. Because of the second game, how they fucked it up. Yeah.
But even then,
they lied about shit, story modes.
Even then, there is still quite a few Overwatch 2 players out there. I can be mad at a game, right, and still play the motherfucker. Call of Duty is always overly negative, overwhelmingly negative, right? It always gets
Bro, what
a
do we
negative
hear every
or low
single year when
Metacritic
Call
score.
of Duty comes out?
Call of Duty
Every
always
year
rates
when
like
Call
a
of Duty
5 or
comes out.
6 Metacritic, right?
This game is
Or
trash.
score, and then it
Yeah.
still becomes the bestseller than the previous one, right? So
Yeah, but that's Call of Duty. Like, they're a unicorn. They get. I don't know how they keep getting away with this shit, because all the big giants have eventually fallen. Battlefields, like, they eventually, like, Call of Duty is that one game that
Because the kids keep buying it,
Battlefield.
That's why.
I'm gonna
Even
tell you
Battlefield is
how,
still like-
Blaze. It's the name, Call of Duty. That's it. That's all it
I
is.
believe that too.
The name has. It's like Madden. Motherfuckers gonna buy it every year. Like they can
And
make Call of
every
Duty.
5 years, there's a
anything.
new batch of kids buying it. You know.
Yep.
30,000 in Overwatch 2 on Steam. That's just Steam too, by the way.
But I'm okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Overwatch,
they
Overwatch
could
has
easily
like
pull
6
that.
million players a month or something like that.
Well, I'm just
Mark
telling
my-
you what's. Yeah, like I said, this is only Steam. This is not like Blizzard or PlayStation or
Yeah, everything
Xbox.
I'm gonna tell you what we gotta do too. What's gonna make or break this game is the streamers. Look and see what streamers. Obviously, you know, there's a streamer we're not gonna talk about it. If he was playing a motherfucker, you know, prior to all this shit, you gotta find a safe streamer to stream, and once they got it, once that streaming crowd got it, you're good. I'm just saying, like, literally, I've seen streamers save
their
games.
content after, J-Dub.
Yes,
They got to have that content ready to go, and how fast they move to fix the bugs that people are pissed off about, like right when the game launches, and you know, shit that comes up. If you fix that shit quick, you can keep people. But if you fuck up and stumble, it's hard to get them back.
You remember that, J-Dubs? Sea of Thieves was dead in the water, and then a couple big streamers picked it up, and
then it became it really that's really where it goes. And with any shooter, you know, you don't have to worry about that with single player story driven games because they kind of speak for themselves. But with these type of live service shooters and stuff like that, I mean, every week a new shooter is dropping, right? And sometime it makes it and sometime it doesn't. Look at PUBG. PUBG was the king of the hill until Fortnite rebranded and copied its battle royale mode, and then it was rest in peace PUBG, right? So
a big part of that was PUBG couldn't keep up. Like, it was neck and neck for a little bit, but the problem is PUBG and their developers, they couldn't keep up with the content that Epic Games could.
Yep. Epic started adding.
PUBG still has a lot of players, still, bro.
In the mobile space. In the mobile space.
Nowhere
in the
near
mobile
Fortnite.
space, though.
Bro, you know how much? Hold on. No, I listen, bro. Because I used to say the same thing. PUBG's dead. You know how many players PUBG got right now on Steam, bro? Could you guess? Make a guess. Somebody, go ahead.
20,000.
200 some odd thousand.
There you go. More like 200,000 people playing.
Yeah.
It's
That's
huge,
a lot, bro. That's not a dead game, dog.
Like, a lot of the players are Korean and Chinese now. A lot of them.
It don't matter. Listen, we're not judging the way you know. I'm telling you, there's 200,000. That's a lot, bro. That's like,
that's a lot for
that's
that
a lot of
game.
numbers, bro.
Yeah, that is.
That's an old fucking game, bro. Think about it. Helldivers was peaking at 400,000. That's a brand new game. 40. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It's big, but I think the point is there's always going to be a game that comes along, and just kills you.
Yeah,
like PUBG was once millions of players. You know?
I can't play PUBG anymore. That shit feels awful. I can't.
Yeah. But
I think Concord is going to take Overwatch's lunch. Nah, I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that would happen. I don't. I think it'll take some of the
stranger things have happened, man.
No.
Ain't no way. The name Blizzard, like, dude, people have like this weird love-hate relationship with Blizzard. They'll just play Overwatch even if they hate it just because Blizzard made it. Like, I don't know. That fan base is toxic.
Yeah, I don't get that shit.
That's true.
Listen, I don't want to. I get it, but I don't want to get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
It's, I mean, and obviously we have to go with the other factor that we're seeing too. Y'all seen it as well as I've seen it, man. It's the people are gonna say, oh, this game is woke and this and this and that. At what point in gaming, right, where, and I said this earlier, gaming is supposed to be escapism, It's supposed to be a hobby where you can
I hate that
escape.
word,
I know. I'm heading somewhere just to watch. I'm going to lead you there.
Yeah.
But it's like gaming is supposed to be escape. Like, man, I've been at work all day. I'm tired, frustrated. Come home. I just want to chill out, relax, play some games, and enjoy my time. And now it's like every game come out, oh, this is woke and this bullshit and this character, this and this and that, and it puts this stain of politicism on the game. And it's not necessarily about one single game, but I feel like there's some grifters there that is trying to they're merging two things. They're merging the politics with the gaming, and that's never a good thing. It's like, can we have one hobby that's not tainted by some bullshit?
Yeah,
because
politics should have never got into this industry, bro.
Listen.
I mean, it's gonna creep into any industry that look at movies. I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah,
inevitability.
But J-Dub, I do think there's games out there that absolutely quote unquote are woke, right? Like the the developer had an agenda. Like there's been a couple of games in the past, but with this, like I see the whole retro art, like with the color plasm and shit. Like I just feel like this is their little, this is the game they wanted to create. I'm not even, you know what I mean? Like trust me, there's other games that like you can look at and say, all right, you know what I mean? This is like this is a game where I just see like this is their creativity. This is what they wanted to make type shit. Like I'm not even looking at it like that.
Here's the thing. Let's say that is the case, right? Let's say that's the case. How does that personally affect a person? If you're a gamer, this new game come out, but you're saying, I'm not going to play it because I believe the developer did X, Y, and Z or whatever. What, like, I don't know, maybe I'm a different gamer, but a good game is a good game. I don't give a fuck what you put in it. I don't care if it's two fucking bananas sword fighting. If it's a good game, I mean, matter of fact, if you as a PC gamer, you see all that weird shit happen, right? It does. It literally happens, right? It's a game called Banana, like it literally and it's like 100,000 people playing it, and it's like the #1 top, and it's like, those guys get it. They don't give a fuck. They're not finna let anything taint their hobby. They're not finna let anything. They get it. I just want to play.
People sell bananas for like 50 grand on there. That's why too. That's why people.
Well, that too. But I'm just like, in being on the Blaze, you know me. You'll see me playing majority of the time. You see me playing game. Unfortunately, it's like solo. I'm playing solo, or else I'll hit you up and say, "Hey, boot up this game. Let's do this. Or it's a new game we want to play or whatever, and we'll jump on." Other than that, I'm playing solo to funnel out the bullshit. Because obviously I'm a content creator, and obviously, we do bullshit podcasts and shit like that. But when it comes to my gaming, like personal gaming, outside of like me doing the console war shit and all the joking and the shit that I do on Twitter.
Outside of you trolling, right?
Outside of the trolling, I really just like to sit down and play games. I got my Steam back there, or I got my Portal, or I got my PlayStation, or I got my Xbox, or I'm on fucking PC, right? It's just, I just like to sit there and enjoy gaming. Why are you trying to bring work gamer, and bullshit into my safe space where it's like, I don't care about it. I don't care if this developer got pink nails or if this developer did this. I don't care. I don't know those people. They didn't change anything in my life that I could care about. So who cares? Deliver the game that I want to play, and if it's nice and fun, I'll buy it, I'll play it, and move around. But there's just a bunch of people now, and I'm starting to see it, where it's like every game has to pass their political spectrum test. And I think that's detriment to gaming, because as divided that we are in politics, gaming has always been the one unifier. Like we'll talk all this shit in the podcast, but after we get off the podcast, we jump on a fucking game that it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you're just gaming and enjoying it, it's fine. But I don't know, man. I don't know. And I don't want, put it like this, I don't want gaming to die. I don't want a bunch of people to leave gaming because of these type of things. And that's my take on it.
I agree with you, Jay, though. That's why I say there are games out there that legit, I can't help but see it. But even like a game like COD that might inject some of that shit, I'm still playing COD because at the end of the day, like you said, bro, you work all fucking day, you families, you got fucking bills, you got all this shit, you got health, you know what I mean? You got to deal with so much shit in life. It's just like at the end of the day, bro. So, I mean, so if all these people are putting it by their political test, like how many people are really out here playing games?
Yep.
You know, if they got to judge every game they play before they play it, I mean.
Well, what's happening is it's people, I'm starting to see people foam at the mouth at the opportunity of the content that they'll be able to create by shitting on the game.
For the content, J-Dub. That's why you gotta look past it, bro. They're just like, when you realize like, hey, when they turn that camera on, they're making content and they're just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't believe certain people, you know what I mean? There's certain people that act a fucking fool on YouTube, and I'm like, bro, there ain't no way you can really act like that in real life. Like, I get what they're doing, even though it annoys the fuck out of me. I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there's just a lot of that going on. But you know, I still like to believe that it's still, those are the super minority, and they don't count for the grand scheme of things, right? I think at the end of the day, the bulk of gamers still play games. They still enjoy gaming. They don't let any bullshit come in and create a wedge. But I just feel like if I'm a developer and I just sunk 30, 40, 50 million dollars into a game, and I see people before the game even drops, I see them already shitting on it and calling it woke and calling it everything. Yeah. I didn't like that. The morale is not only down, but it's like that studio or that company and closed down because they never had a chance. The game was doomed before it even released. All because of some, I don't even call them trolls because they're nowhere near on my level. These are grifters. These are people that just they come into this gaming space just to make a quick buck, and they're gonna leave and go elsewhere, right?
It's definitely not on your level, Jay. You ain't lying. Huh?
Yeah, no, I'm a self-proclaimed troll. I troll. I just I bullshit around, but I actually buy my Xbox games. I actually play those games and stream those games, and you know, and I cap. That's what the cap meter. That's what it's supposed to be. That's my stick.
Nah, J-Dub, I'll say this. And I know your fan base must know you, but like I always try to tell, whenever somebody would slander your name, whether it was like on my part, they bring your name up for a second or wherever, and I said, nah. I was like, stop talking, bro. You know J-Dub on Twitter. You don't know the real J-Dub, bro. You know what I mean? You don't know the guy that I FaceTime that's with his family, that fucking be playing all types of games, that owns every fucking console. Shut the fuck up. You're just being ignorant. You don't know people. Like, that's the thing. Like, we only judge, I guess, in a point, like, we only can judge what we see sometimes. I understand that. Like, hey, I'm only judging on what I see. And if all you see is J-Dub saying, you know, Xbox is dead, you know, I get that too. But like, bro, like, you don't know people,
and listen, I take the good with the bad. I know there's some haters out there. I know there's people that know I troll and bullshit around, but then they catch me on Xbox or whatever. I see you online. You know, they used to do it all the time. But it's like, yeah, this is a character I created, right? And it's entertaining and it's supposed to be funny and shit. Yeah, it's online persona. Like I'm a fucking regular guy like everybody else. But you know, at the end of the day,
just with expensive cars and shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, I just I do have gaming's best interest at heart. I do not want to see, even like Xbox, I don't want to see it go away. I want them to fucking come back and beat up fucking Sony and have the best, you know, the best of gaming. All three of them are at their peak, and they're getting our dollars and they're fighting. Like, that's the shit that I enjoyed about the old generations, or back in the PS3 and 360 era, right? And like, that was a battle. That was a fucking battle. That was a slugfest. Like, that was great. Before then, you had the Dreamcast and the PlayStation and I think the GameCube and shit like that, right? I'm just using that as an excuse of me growing up from playing Atari all the way to now. You're seeing that. And you know, I don't want everybody to go to PC because I do want consoles to be there. I'm a console gamer at heart. Yeah, I game on PC too, but consoles is kind of just like that's home base, man. And there's room for everybody to make money. So even if, you know, let's say Concord or some of these others live service games, even if they don't crack the #1 or whatever, even if they can just exist, let's say every week there's about 10, 20,000 people playing this fucking game. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to just exist in that space. And guess what? It only takes a season or an update to add something that will reinvigorate something and add more people in there.
What are they saying that this, like, what do you, in your opinion, J-Dub, in the panel, what do you think this game needs to do numbers wise to succeed? I agree with you. It doesn't have to be the next Fortnite or the, you know what I mean? Like at $40, that's why when people say this should have been free to play, like, yeah, okay, you can have that opinion, but again, at $40 a pop, if Sony sells enough copies, they make money, regardless of what happens.
Well, here's the thing.
But do you think it could even sell 1 million copies?
I think so.
It's possible.
I just don't think. Here's the thing. Helldivers sold what? What do you guys think Helldivers sold? Was it like 15 million copies or some shit?
It's like close to 10 million.
Okay, call it 10 million. We'll call it 10 million. For live service games, it's not necessarily, well, I guess it is because it's not a free to play. I was going to say it's not how many copies you sold, but how much people keep coming back. Let's say you sell 1 million. Let's say you sell 2 million. Okay, that's just that one time, but you got to keep people coming back because people are going to spend the money. The money is not in the selling of the game. The money is in the content that you're going to sell afterwards to keep it fresh and keep people coming back. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I don't know how much did Sony invest in this game. Do you compare this to Helldivers 2? Well, Helldivers 2 sold 10 million. Does this one have to sell 10? I'm pretty sure they wanted to sell 10, but if it sold 5 million, would that be okay? Or
I think that would be plenty. I think if this game sells 2 million, it'd be like look, bro, Helldivers wasn't supposed to, like, nobody believed in that, bro. I swear, I'm not trying to take credit or be anything, but I remember seeing Helldiver get footage. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be fire. Third person, like I see bugs exploding, losing limbs. I'm like, yo, this shit's gonna be fire. I always thought Helldivers would be lit in that perspective,
absolutely.
Third person. I've seen the vision. Now, but the thing is, Sony did not think this shit was gonna sell 10 million. There ain't no fucking way.
Yeah. Because, but you got to think about it.
They can't just put Helldivers up against everything.
Yeah, this was Sony's first foray, right? Helldivers 2 was their first foray into live service games. They don't, you know, so they I guess there was really no expectation there, but then they kind of overexceeded. And then so with this game, I don't know. You see, with live service, you don't know what to expect. Your game could fucking blow up or your game could fucking crash. You just don't know. But one thing I will tell you, I guarantee you they didn't invest the same amount of money into these live service games as they did into their single player games.
No.
Hell no.
You know, so whereas Helldivers probably cost 20 million to make, this game may have cost 30 million to make. I'm just assuming because of the obviously the graphics and everything else. I mean, I don't know how much. I'm just pulling shit out of my ass, but how much do you think it costed them to make this game? And that'll tell you how many sales they need to make to at least just break even.
I think a million. I don't think it's not an event. I think they'll do it.
Yeah, I heard somebody say this, and let me get y'all opinion on this. I heard somebody say Sony should just make it free to play. But see, when you do that, free to play comes with a whole different set of issues, right? Helldivers 2, it was the same price as Concord. The expectation was that the game was gonna work, the game was gonna be entertaining, and the game was gonna have consistent content coming in. That game had that, therefore it was successful. This game has to have the exact same thing, regardless of what type of game it is. I know it's a different type of game. I know it's, I think right now, at least I can say is the biggest argument is that people are saying it's trying to copy off of this game or that game, or it's not this game or that game. That's the discussion. You're Overwatch. You're that. You're not Call of Duty. I want them to tweak it and make it like Call of Duty. I want them to tweak it and make it like Valorant. I want them to tweak it and make it like, here's the thing. They're delivering a game that's in their vision that they want. They don't want to be exactly like Call of Duty. They don't want to be exactly like Overwatch. They don't want to be exactly.
Too many games copy Call of Duty in this industry.
That's what I'm saying. Just
come on, bro.
Dude,
And
especially on PC. Listen, there's
I
a thousand games on Steam right now that are Call of Duty clones. You can go and buy any one of them. Guess where people play? On Call of Duty. So yeah, you can make these clones, but it's not going to do anything. People are just going to default back to the thing. So I think this game is a little bit different. Maybe it's different enough to create its own fan base. It may not take anybody from Overwatch. It may not take anybody from any of these other games, but it may be a fan base out there, or it may take a lot of people from Overwatch. It just may. But there's a lot of people who don't play Overwatch that are commenting on it and saying, I want it like Call of Duty. I want it like X, Y, and Z. That's not the game. Even if you made this game like Call of Duty, people would still just play Call of Duty. And I heard a developer say that you don't want to just make a Call of Duty like game because people are going to stay with Call of Duty. You have to make something that's different enough.
He knows what type of game Sony needs to make. Your boy Sam, that's why he's a mod too. He's a smart guy.
My brother Sam was. Yeah.
Honestly, I think they should have just made fucking Killzone. Honestly.
Bro, I'll take Listen, I know J-Dub hates Killzone. J-Dub, listen. Okay. Bro, you telling me Guerrilla
it's
Games right now.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I hate it. Here's the thing, right? And tell me if I'm wrong, but nostalgia doesn't really work. We think
not
that them
the
going back.
Right.
No, not all the time. I'm just saying, but we live in glory that, like, for example, I was a huge Twisted Metal fan back in the day. Huge Twisted Metal fan. Matter of fact, I still own every single Twisted Metal game. I still obviously I don't get rid of anything, but I still have my games. I played Twisted Metal Black when it came to the PlayStation Plus or whatever on the classics. Oh my God, that shit was ass. It didn't age. Hold on.
You're playing an old game.
No. I get it. But check this. Hear me out. I know it didn't age well, but I'm thinking in 2024, how could you take that game, modernize it enough to make me give a damn about it now? And I'm gonna be honest, I think I've moved on in my life I've moved on. Like I think some things are better left in history. Like I would rather them to just
listen, J-Dub, hold on, listen. Killzone 3 and Shadowfall, I give you that. I guarantee you, had they just remade Killzone 2, put some new maps, it would have sold more than this game.
Or Mercenaries.
It would have sold, but how do you keep people keep coming back? How do you keep here's the thing.
Killzone 2 was unique enough. Like 3 and 4, it got kind of stupid. There were like all these cheeses and shit.
3 wasn't that bad. 3 wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but you had like that fucking flying thing that would kill people. Like, nah. Killzone 2 was... Yeah. Killzone 2 was enough of its own thing. Like, it was like a battlefield, but it kind of was heavy, like Gears, you know? Like, it was like... Yeah. It was its own thing. And had they just progressed Killzone 2... Dude, if they just remade Killzone 2 today, I promise you it'd be way more successful than this game. The biggest problem this game is going to face is that $40 price. Like, if people don't play the beta... I can't see people going out in droves and 2 million copies of this game being sold on a new IP, on a shooter that people don't know if they're even going to like. Like, that $40 price tag, that's a lot. That's a lot. For a shooter nowadays, especially
for the PC crowd. For the PC crowd.
Everybody, when any shooter comes out nowadays.
Bro.
No,
it's not that it's a lot,
but
it's a high asking price. For a multiplayer-only game, that's an unproven IP and trying to compete in the shooter space, there's a reason that every shooter nowadays
but that's why you're right. You're right. New IPs are the hardest thing to do in this industry. Everybody knows that. But what I'm telling you, $40, I think is a great sweet spot, bro. I think for multiplayer only, you sell $40.
Yeah.
That's why you sell
Yeah.
at $40 because it's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
It's a two. See,
that make more sense.
$40 is a 2-for-1 deal. When you think of 40, when you see that $39.99, you say, "Hey man, I can buy 2 of these for the price of 1 goddamn game." Basically, that's basically what you're telling most gamers. So that's why it was nothing for people to dive into Helldivers 2 because they look at it like, oh, it's just $39.99.
For $40,
it had like the social media. It had the dude. I couldn't turn on TikTok and go through 2 freaking videos without Helldivers. Like
they weren't even promoting that shit, bro. Helldivers
I know. People were.
Yeah, that's the people saying, "Hey, this
I
game
don't
is awesome."
see that happening with this game.
What about if I told you this, Godzilla? Right?
I don't see it.
You're talking about the $40 for multiplayer only, right? Think about it. $40 for a multiplayer game that, listen, traditionally you're gonna put way more time into a multiplayer game. So for $40, you're getting way more time that you would pay for a $70 game for a single player game.
I agree. Saying? All I play is multiplayer for the most part. Like I play my single player games, but 90% of my game time is on multiplayer. I get it. It's not me that I have, like, if I wanted to buy it, yeah, $40 ain't shit. It's all that, like, I just don't see this game selling 2 million copies at $40.
Oh, that could be true, like, bro.
I just don't see it.
I think the game is. I know this hurts certain PlayStation guys. Like, I'm just being honest. To me, in my opinion, I think the game is right at the mid mark. You know, that's just personally my opinion. That doesn't mean that it's not great or it can't be great. I'm just saying that. And then J-Dub, with this whole thing with the Killzone thing, right? I'm gonna just say this, bro. The Guerrilla Games that you used to know and the Guerrilla Games now is completely different. We're talking about a steak that just went on the oven that it turned out to be good. Now this Guerrilla Games got fucking salt, pepper, season. Bro,
I agree.
It's a different Guerrilla, bro.
I agree, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. In 2024 is not enough to just make a single player shooter. That multiplayer has to compete with listen, that multiplayer is going to have to compete with it's going to have to go face everything that Concord is facing right now. And I'm just being honest, none of Sony studios have that track record to build up to the 2024 standards of the multiplayer outside of the Helldivers team right now.
I would say I have more faith in a Killzone coming out.
Track record.
I think a Killzone coming out now.
It would sell because of the name.
Especially the name, and because Battlefield is such in the shit right now, and Killzone is kind of more of a Battlefield than it is a COD.
Bro, there's no brutal shooters out there, bro. There's no first of all, you know the story Guerrilla could tell, and you know the engine, we all know Decima engine.
Yeah. Listen, the game would be the best looking game in the world. The story would be the best story in the world. But the multiplayer, how are you going to tie that into 2024 standards? You know, the standards of a multiplayer game today is different than it was back then.
Add some microtransactions, add a battle pass. They can figure it out, bro.
Dude, the Hellgast alone has unlimited
the helmets
potential.
are so sick. You know how many helmets they can sell? Different helmets, chest piece, guns. Like, come on, dog. It's endless.
I still think it's a hard
I see Killzone be more popular than SOCOM because of all the microtransactions. The Resistance is another one.
The biggest problem SOCOM would face today is there's all these clones that came out of SOCOM and have evolved so far. Like, SOCOM would just be SOCOM. I hate to say it like that, but it would. Like, how's it going to compete with R6?
Godzilla, listen. R6 is a first-person shooter, okay?
Right.
Number one. There's no third-person tactical shooter on the market right now. There's none. Okay? And what I'm telling you is, SOCOM, all it has to do is the reason why SOCOM failed is because SOCOM started doing non-SOCOM things like putting over-the-shoulder cameras, getting rid of traditional fucking game modes, trying to chase Call of Duty with all this bullshit. If they make a SOCOM game, all right, modernize it, okay, they'll do just fine, bro. They'll do just fine. There's no reason. Listen, and this ain't a shot at Concord. This ain't a shot at any other game that's gonna come out that's a gas game, okay? Like If these games get a chance, there's no reason why the games that have sold millions and millions of copies can't get a chance. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're gonna give these other games a chance, why can't the people that's already sold you millions of copies get a chance? That's all I'm saying. SOCOM has a big name. Don't look at these bum studios that are bro. All these SOCOM shooters that came before J-Dub were fucking indie developer studios that barely had fucking $200,000 to put into a game.
Slant 6.
Yeah.
What was some of the No, I totally agree with you. What I'm saying is the state, the let me rephrase it, right? Because maybe my messaging is getting miscued. The state of gaming where we are in 2024 with anybody, I don't care if you're Sony, Microsoft. Let me fucking look at Halo, right? Look when that shit dropped. Like even Halo, a game that was the de facto shooter back in the day, has to work its ass off to get people to care about it, right? In a modern day, when back in the day, every news company would have it. Dude, it was like Christmas when a Halo was coming out. People would be around. I mean, they really didn't have to advertise. It was Halo Day, right? It was officially Halo Day around the world. But those days,
Halo did what it did to itself. It when it came out, it had the players. It had the 20 million people that logged into the game. The problem is the content. They didn't make nothing. We got 2 maps in 1 year. 2 maps. That's it.
Well, that's guess what?
That's Microsoft.
And it took too long for 4.
Yeah.
Like they did that to themselves. Had Halo come out as the complete package, it'd be a different story. But they didn't do that. They put together that game. The code was all jacked up, so it took them like a year.
And it had a good single player. And it had a good single player. So what does that tell you?
Too long for Forge to come out.
Like, bro, every time a playlist update would happen, it'd break another part of the game because the code was all fucked up. Halo did it to itself.
That was the temporary. That was the temporary people who helped build it instead of having your normal people do it. That's why you can't do that.
I'm just saying. I don't agree with the argument that the names don't carry weight because Halo had the players. It lost the players because 343 is stupid.
Because
that's why it lost the players.
Yeah, it did have the players. It did.
If Killzone came out, it would get a massive install base at launch. Like it would, and then it would be up to them to keep them.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how do you take somebody away from CS:GO? How do you take somebody away from Valorant?
Killzone ain't like CS:GO.
No. I know what I'm saying is
different games, J-Dub.
I know they're different games, but what I'm saying is collectively in a pot in gaming, right? Because not everybody are shooters, but in the shooter market, how do you pull people away enough to care about
from Fortnite, Apex,
other? Yes. How do you?
I hear that, J-Dub, but then that means
that's the question.
No, I hear you, but that means all the other developers that are making shooters right now just tell them to pack up shop because what I mean. Like you can't have that mentality, bro.
I know that, but I'm just saying is that's the hill that they're going to have to climb. They're going to have to climb steep hill, and they are. Right. Every day they are. And guess what? Even the games that are out right now, they still have to keep finding ways to keep people coming back. They still have to, dude. I'm gonna be honest. If I'm running a studio and we were making a shooter, I would be fucking scared shitless because the gaming, the landscape of gaming has changed. It has. I remember you could just put out a good multiplayer game. You used to just be able to put a good game, tack on a multiplayer, and you had a hit on your hand. Yep. Those days are gone. You can drop a game with a fire. Look at Halo. Had a great story, single player game, full game intact, but then a multiplayer, and that caused that game to bomb. Everybody's gonna have to go through that same exact thing. So let's say another Killzone come. I guarantee you the graphics gonna be great, the sound gonna be great, the single player is gonna be fucking fire. It's gonna do really well in sales. But that multiplayer, if people don't like it, they're gonna shit on the game. It'll get a 60 Metacritic score. All because of that. That's the fear that I have because I've seen it over and over.
But J-Dub. First off, the Metacritic score when it comes to these multiplayer games is irrelevant. Like Metacritic
Metacritic, but on console, Metacritic does matter because look at the Days Gone developer. They said even though they sold 10 million copies of the game, it still wasn't enough because the Metacritic And
in Sony's aspect, yes, Sony would care about the Metacritic score.
Yeah.
But the Metacritic, like if Killzone came out and got a 50 and it had a fire multiplayer and everybody played that multiplayer, it would kind of be it because it would be all over TikTok, YouTube, streamers would play it. That Metacritic score wouldn't have a bearing on people playing the game.
I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. I disagree because of what happened to factions. The fact that they were so scared to release this game, because that's what I'm saying. Like, public reception matters to a lot of companies.
It would have
really
changed
matters.
that studio too.
It would have changed the studio. It is
then you have to support that game.
These companies are in a life or death situation.
Hey, that changes your whole studio when you got to support that. Fortnite talked about that. About the crunch and trying to just come up with new content all the time. If you're coming out with a multiplayer, you better have a year's worth of content the day you launch. If not, you're fucked. You're behind the 8 ball.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the landscape of gaming has changed. You used to be able to put out a mediocre multiplayer, but as long as your single player is okay, you used to be okay, right? It's 2024. The days of multiplayer is dead. It's about live service. It's about live service. Like even Call of Duty, right? Their multiplayer can be fucking trash. People are still going to revert back over to Warzone. Warzone is the face of Call of Duty. They can put out a Call of Duty single.
It gets streamed way more. It gets played.
Exactly. It makes way more money. It just is. That's what I'm saying. The landscape of gaming has changed. It's not like what it used to be. So it's not.
I know, Jay, though, but I just feel like you gotta have some goddamn. You gotta believe a little bit.
Listen, brother. If I could donate some money and get them to fucking make one, I would. But I'm just telling you,
bro, please.
The shit that I'm looking at, Concord, and it's not just about Concord, right? It's about other games that are coming out too on Xbox side and PlayStation side. It's like it's an uphill battle.
Let me ask you something, bro.
Yes.
Real shit, right?
Yeah.
Act like we're not even live right now, bro.
All right.
Like for real, like if Concord ain't it, like if the majority says, "Look, this ain't it,"
yeah.
Like always, you'll accept it.
What can I do? Like, if it's a dud, it's a dud. It's going to be listen, if it's a dud, I'm going to treat it just like Foam Stars. I'm going to treat it just like the other games that done came out that have been. It's okay to see. And I think this is the misconception. It's okay for games to fail. It's okay. Not every game can be a hit. It can't. It's impossible for every game to be a hit. The goal is to have more bangers than you have duds. Right. It only take one banger to reinvigorate the fan base, right? Look at Helldivers 2. Everybody beforehand was like, "Oh, Sony don't do multiplayer. Sony don't. They're scared factions." Hellblade came out. Then everybody's like, "Oh shit, Sony may know what they doing with the multiplayer. I'm glad Bungie this and Bungie that." And you just never know. So that's why it's okay if Concord fails, right? I'm not telling them don't make any more live service games, but the goal is to figure out why it failed, because you have a different, like 2024 is totally different than anything prior. The games that came out in 2020, the way they vision the gamers consume and the games that they liked in 2020 is no longer what they like in 2024. The gaming landscape is changing every fucking day. Back then, all you needed was a good multiplayer game, and you were look. I'm a Overwatch guy, and it's like I've put in thousands of hours right on PC and shit on it. But the problem is it's 2024. That no longer cuts it. I mean, we talked about it earlier, right? It's just Overwatch 2 no longer cuts it. We talked about it earlier about Diablo. Great game to me, but guess what? To most people, it no longer cuts it. So the everything is just shifting. The landscape of gaming is shifting, and I don't know the answer. I don't. I'll be honest. I don't know. I mean,
Jay, what else do you like? You said, if you can't put out an excellent multiplayer, like what else? Like, what you got to give motherfuckers a check too? Like what else do you got? Like, come on, this is crazy. Like
that's my thing, Blaze. That's my thing. Like my biggest fear is Concord comes out, it bombs. And I've been one of those people saying for pretty much since Killzone 2, Resistance 2, I miss when Sony would give us a game like that. Like Last of Us 1 was all right online. Uncharted 2, I played the hell out of it.
That's
like
I miss when they would, Watch your mouth.
Yeah, facts. I miss when they did these things, and I fear that Concord's gonna come out, it's gonna bomb, nobody's gonna give a shit, and then Sony's gonna be like, "Well, pack it up. We're not gonna do multiplayer."
We're not doing that anymore.
No, Sony needs to move.
No.
If this bombs, they move on to the next game, bro. This is it,
yeah,
bro. Gas games, bro. Like gas games is literally. For a lot of these developers, they're throwing noodles at the wall, and you know what they want. They want you know what I mean? Like that's what they're doing right now. But like, I hope PlayStation has a plan, bro. They've cut down their shit. They know what. I feel like if it feels, bro. It is what it is, dog. Like
okay. In defense,
PlayStation knows that they have to make those type of games. They can't just rely on single player. They still have to make.
Let me say this, and this will speak to that. You know, and this is the fanboy side. Y'all know I talk shit about Xbox all the time, blah, blah, blah. That's what I do. That's my stick. But honestly, look at Ninja Theory. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into Hellblade 2, and nobody fucking gave a shit about that game. Nobody bought that game, and it just kind of came in the wind. What does that say? Do you think that studio is going to get another, call it 50, 60 million, 70 million dollars to make another game? Like
I'm worried about that.
Yeah. Let's say 20, right? It's like we're in a different era, guys. We're in an era where these developers, if they don't fucking knock it out the park, they're done. And this is across. This is Sony. This is
I would
Nintendo,
almost say
everybody.
Hellblade is a bad example though, because
okay,
we're not on the other. Hold on, we're not on the other show, right? So I could. Speak freely.
But I was just using
the first Hellblade. Yeah, the first Hellblade sold like 1 million copies over like 7 years, bro. I don't think Hellblade was ever gonna sell like 10 million copies or.
Oh
like,
no.
It's a niche game.
How many copies did you think it was gonna sell? Because my thing is this: if Microsoft is gonna come and swoop these motherfuckers up, okay, excuse my language, sorry, but it aggravates the hell out of me that you buy Ninja Theory and then with Microsoft's back and you put out the exact. And listen, I get a sequel is a sequel, right? Horizon but guess what? Horizon Forbidden West, go try playing Zero Dawn, bro. It feels a little like I don't know if I can play this, bro. Real shit. Just the traversal and shit like that is, you know what I mean? Anyway, my point is, you got the Microsoft's back and you got all this shit and you put out the same fucking game. You know what I mean? And it's they don't improve on the combat, nothing. Like at least these games improved on combat. They added more. Like this shit was just a tech demo, bro. Like Microsoft paid for an expensive tech demo. Like, bro, like I'm not trying to sit here and listen to this bitch whisper in my ear for fucking 5 hours. Like,
but to be fair,
I'm not doing
to be fair, Blaze, the first game was like that. And I get it. The first game it sold like
a million. I thought the combat was better in the second one, but
a lot of people said it regressed.
Yeah, I mean everybody's divided on this shit. So
the only thing that they did with the combat, they actually did mocap for her moves and shit. That's the difference from the first to the second game.
Because I played the first one before I went and played the second one, and I just got it on Game Pass because I ain't gonna buy it if I have Game Pass. I thought it was better. Like it was more grand, but it's not like
it's a better game. I'll tell you that.
Crazy shit.
It is. I'll give it that. It is. I think personally myself, after playing one, I didn't beat one, but I think it's a better game. Obviously, it looks better, control better.
Like dude, in the first game,
it's the same game.
You don't really interact with anybody else, and in that first combat scene, there's like people all over the place. Like, I don't know, man. I thought it was better, but did I think it was like the greatest shit ever? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now let's face it. Here's the thing: the expectations were different, and that goes back to the game that they released in 2017. 2017 was a different era. This is 2024. What happened back then? Well, like, I honestly believe if you released God of War 2018 in 2024, I believe it doesn't get Game of the Year because of the type of era we're in right now. We're in a different era. The things have changed for whatever, for good or worse. Things are changed. I just don't understand it. Now I don't know what is it, but things have changed, and I think we all need to think about that. Listen,
I agree with that, but again, if God of War's coming out for the first time, and this is like a new reboot of God of War, and let's say 2018 doesn't happen and it drops in 2024, and that's the first time us seeing Kratos and experiencing that type of God of War, I think it's still, you know what I mean? That shit was impactful.
I'm not saying it's going to be a dud. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be a game of the year.
I feel you though. No, you're right. You're onto something with that. You're definitely
we're just the standards. And it goes back to even with showcases and stuff. Blaze, we always go back to how back in 2016 or 2017, that was the best showcase ever because they showed Ghost of Tsushima, they showed God of War, they showed all of this shit, right? All this new shit. Guess what? Everything after that is going to be impossible to outdo because it's kind of like your first time, you never get better than your first time. It's always going to be a clone. You're always going to fall short in some kind of, it's not going to have you feel a certain type of way like it was.
Yeah, I miss Melissa, man. You ain't lying.
I'm just saying, we're I don't know, maybe we're in gaming, right? You know how they have like
and with E3
the Bronze Age,
crazy.
the Silver Age, and then the Golden Age. Maybe we've already experienced our Golden Age, like where
the Golden Age was the 7th gen. We've had this discussion. 360 PS3 was the Golden Age. It is what it is. After that,
whenever everybody was
competing. What about the 6th gen?
No, it was the 7th gen because that's when even with the Red Ring of Death, they still sold. You know what I mean?
I think the 6th gen is slept on, bro. Like he's not lying, bro. Like don't forget what the PS2 was, bro.
Yeah, the 6th gen is great.
GTA 3, we had GTA San Andreas.
Yeah. There was big shit in PS2 gen.
Okay. So I'm with Ridge on this, right? And the reason I would say 7th gen is because that ushered in the technology age. Meaning the technology of online chat, the technology of HD, the technology of, on and on and on. We can keep going, right? I think that's why I would give
we had multiplayer chat.
The franchises, let's put it this way. The 7th gen was such the golden age that the franchises that came out in the 7th gen are still the big franchises today.
Absolutely, you're right.
It's all still the biggest franchises today.
No, you're right.
The 7th gen was just
but
best.
there's a lot of dead franchises in the 7th gen too.
Oh, there are a lot of
dead franchises.
That's because of consolidation. They all got consolidated down, and then from various reasons, they all kind of everybody basically bought up every fucking thing. And all the teams, it's and that's why even right now in 2023 and 2024,
and now there'll be new indie
this
studios.
fucking consolidation shit, it is bullshit because it's going to lead to less games because less studios. Do y'all remember back with the NES and the Sega Genesis and even the PlayStation 1 generation, we had Acclaim, we had Midway, we had all of these other, these motherfuckers make all these football games. We had 8 different versions of a football. NFL, Quarterback Club, Tecmo's NBA, we had NBA Live, NBA Showdown, and 2K, Live, we had all of these things, right? And then what happened? Consolidation happened. Yes, consolidation happened. Now what? We only have one fucking football game. We only have one fucking basketball. It's really. I'm just being honest. Consolidation really killed gaming. It really it fostered it to be just like a assembly line. It's just assembly line. They showed the other day
buying all these developers. What company started that?
These big EA and some
NFL
of the other
and
big
Madden.
companies.
Yeah, they started consolidating the licenses for NFL and. That's what killed all the sports games.
They consolidated. They consolidated with the Nordic studio and all that. They bought the Acclaims and all that other the people that used to make the wrestling stuff. And then they went through financial times, and then they split, and then they got bought out by another company, and then it's fucked up. It's like these corporate suits have these great ideas about buying up shit with a bunch of money, but they're not gamers. They're not in it for the gaming. It's just to be able to own it and sell and have the valuation and sell it off.
That, you know that? You remember when 2K with T.O. on the covers? Best football game ever made.
NFL 2K5.
And they sold for $20, right?
Yes.
The NFL. I guess there's a whole story like the NFL didn't like that because it made the NFL look lesser. You know what I mean? Here EA was selling for like, we don't want we're a premium, you're not gonna sell our game for $20. That's the whole backstory to it too as well.
Yeah.
With EA saying, hey, make a contract and they can't make nothing.
Yeah. Well, it was actually what they did, how they undercut them so much, basically by half, right? They undercut EA a little bit more than half. They undercut them so much, it came off as that's illegal. You're not playing fair. But the only reason it worked was because Madden kept releasing the same fucking game with just roster updates, and they keep changing, like basically what they do these days, right?
Well,
this is why I'm so excited for NCAA, because they had unlimited amount of time to work on it. They don't, like every Madden, they only have 6 months to work on the game. It's literally 6 months of development time, so they won't be able to.
But I'm nervous.
Oh, I'm not. I think that motherfucker's gonna kick Madden in the back of the fucking head.
Trust me. I hope you're right.
Blaze, I'll put this on anything. This fucking game is going to get a fucking 95 Metacritic. We hadn't had a fucking NCAA football game in a decade, literally a decade. This game, it has. Listen, they have the blueprint. All they had to do is improve the graphics and the goddamn, update the controls. That's it. Like the game was already perfect. Matter of fact, the NCAA series, collectively, I think, was higher Metacritic average than Madden. But that was the best. That was the best part of it.
Bundled with NCAA, I get like, I start feeling real like.
So this. Yeah, they're doing that because I'm gonna be honest with you, Blaze.
Same company, obviously.
There's going to be a lot of people not fucking with Madden this year because of NCAA.
You ain't lying.
You really?
You don't have. No, I'm not saying the Madden guys are not going to play Madden. But what I'm saying is, that's a little bit less incentive for you to rush out and buy Madden when you have NCAA to go through your dynasty with, to go through your ultimate team, and to play with your friends and to do all this stuff. Because now you get to do all this stuff. Trust me, all of your time is going to be in fucking college football with more teams, with more everything else, with the fight songs, with everything else. Versus Madden, what more are they going to give us in Madden than what they gave us last year? Fucking nothing.
The They're not changing it. Great. The little
the
all that shit looks incredible. But what I'm saying to you is, Madden is animation based, right? It's stuck by animations. It's not like physics based. And when I see NCAA trailers, I see the same type of. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that worries me. But trust me, I'm excited. I'm not trying to I am excited.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Blaze. Until there's another company out there that's going to attempt to come and make another sports game, it's the best we got. It's all we're ever gonna get until the end of fucking time.
Well, you would have to buy the license. Right. Look, the problem that gaming has today is it just got too big. That's what happened. It's too big for its own good.
Absolutely, I think they need to bust up EA. Fuck them. But here's the reason EA is untouchable. EA is untouchable is because generally they don't own the license to the products that they make. Right? They license out the Star Wars brand. They license out the NFL. Right? They license out a bunch of the other shit. So to their biggest games is generally a license attached to it. They don't own it. So you got to take that into account. Now, here's the thing. Other people can make a basketball game. They can make a football game. They just can't make a simulation basketball or football game. Right. So that you can make all the arcade games, but nobody wants to play arcade. Nobody wants to play arcade.
Look, I don't even play Madden like that or any of these sports games, right? I'm just not into that shit. But gaming's too big. If they can't release a Madden every year and make the money they make off that every year, that studio's fucked. they have to release it every year. So because it comes out every single year, you're never going to get all these crazy changes in Madden.
Absolutely.
They're never going to give the
it's
developers time to give you the perfect football game, because you're just going to have to accept that you'll get that perfect Madden. It's just going to be in like 30 years when they actually have time to make it.
Brother, all the older Maddens were all feature rich, bro. Like, nah, you guys gotta do that. Like, bro, all the older Maddens, like from 03, 04, 05, 06, were feature rich. And what Madden does now is they'll take some of these old features, rename the name, and change it to something, make it act like it's a new feature. That's what
Madden takes longer to make now.
Yeah,
it's again, gaming is too big. It got
but
too
Madden's
big
been the same game. I don't want to hear that it's different from Madden. It's the same game.
But it takes more people to make the game because now it looks better. It has to run better. It just
bro.
It's so much
the engine is the engine, bro. If you got people working on the engine, it's you know what I mean. Like that's I don't buy it for Madden. I buy it for other games. I agree with you for other games, single player games, shit like that. But for Madden, like when they literally have a template laid out, you know what I mean, bro? You think they're updating their stadiums and bro, Madden's been caught in the practice field.
with the previous
Madden
year.
22.
And that's because the game comes out every they develop it
because
for
they're fucking lazy,
6 months.
Bro.
It's six months. The developer said it's a 6 month development time.
That's insane, man. That is insane.
That's just enough time. That's just enough time to change the to do roster changes basically and add small
I mean,
features.
dude, and to say look what Call of Duty does. Call of Duty's made by 3,000 people. They've had to like murder 10 studios to make them all come into this giant Call of Duty conglomerate.
2 studios. But why can't they have 2 studios that they fluctuate from? Why can't they?
Well, that costs more money.
Money. It's money.
You know how much money EA gets from Madden, bro? Are you guys aware of how much money they're making from Madden, bro? It'll disgust you. Just
listen.
Search.
They make money. The problem is it's not about making money. They're not going to take that money that they made and reinvest it for us.
Back. Yeah.
They're not, because this is what happened, and I'm gonna be honest. They were able to financially capitalize off of Madden Ultimate Team and 2K My Park and other shit that brings in way more money than selling you the game ever did. Therefore, they got to keep that going. That way, guess what? You'll never get a next generation NBA 2K. You're never going to get a next generation Madden. It's just forever going to be what it is because everybody it's just like Call of Duty. You're kind of never going to get a new Call of Duty because that war zone is that key piece.
You can't buy it. Is what you'll have. If
you can't buy it. You're right.
One year, you guys just are going to have to mash.
That's true.
Not buy Madden. That's the only way it will ever.
That's true. That's true.
That's the only way
it's going to have to
get their attention.
It's going to have to hit them in the wallet for them to make a blip. We can get online and petition and make polls and scream all we want.
They don't care.
It's been done for the last 20 years.
AW, you know who it is? It's the Madden content creators that open up these fucking. You know what's killing.
They got a business. It's a business. They got a business to run.
What's that shit called? What's that other game mode called? Please. Ultimate Team is
Ultimate Team. Yeah.
I don't care what nobody says, bro.
Yeah. Ultimate Team is the war zone. It's the war zone of football, of all sports, all their sports, all the Ultimate Team.
And you get these content creators that open these packs and they act all over dramatic, like, oh my god, look at the animations.
They put it in soccer and everything.
Yeah.
Well, EA stopped playing for FIFA, bro. That was huge. So EA stopped.
Well, it's like Diablo Immortal. It's only a few whales can prop up the entire game. Like Diablo Immortal made $100. Yeah, Diablo Immortal made $100 million. Most of that $100 million came from one Discord that has 1,000 whales in it, and they're all spending like 50, 60K a piece. So the game will never change because there's 1,000 people just propping the game up. Why would they change it?
Yeah. Okay, but my thing is that's like I said, when you think about everything you just said, now lay it all onto NCAA. And then talk to me. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I'm not buying all this new shit.
Hey, Blaze, to be honest, I don't play this shit, but I'm with you. I think it's going to be the same shit.
No, but hear me out. Hear me out. This is the only reason I have faith in NCAA is because previously there was nothing there. they didn't have to rush, right? It's not like every year they have to spend 6-month development time. They had unlimited amount of time because they hadn't made a game in fucking 10 years, right? That's what gives me the faith that they're going to pull it through, and me seeing the gameplay and me seeing all the other features that they're going to have in there. It could be the nostalgia feature of the fact that, hey, I still got my PS3 right on the side of me. I still got a copy of NCAA Football 14 that I still play to this day. Now I get to take that shit, put it in a box, right, and have an up-to-date modern version of that. Now, guess what? Next year, it's just going to be roster updates, and the year after that is and we're going to fall right back into the same line. But I think this one here will be the big change and the big notice that we can't get in Madden. Yeah. Now, in the perfect world, if EA wasn't fucking a corporate shithead, they would release Madden, let's say, next year. And then say, okay, we're going to release NCAA football this year. And then for you Madden fans, we're just going to we'll charge you $20 for a roster update and little features here. But you'll get an all new Madden the following. Yes. And that keeps it fresh.
Yeah, and have them go together.
Yeah, that's the only way I see there being any variant changes in any of these sports games. That's the only way.
J-Dub, why would they do it when every year
they're not going to do it? They're not going to do it. Absolutely, they're not going to do it.
Billions of dollars, like
why? If I make $20 billion a year off this one franchise, why would I make $10 billion a year the next year and then another 20? Like, why would I stagger it? Why? I'm gonna make 20 billion every year, and it is what it is. As long as the fuckers keep buying it, I'm gonna keep doing it. It happened to listen. Ironically, 2K, the company who fought against EA in them just doing the roster updates and giving us the same shit over and over. Ironically, that company that fought against that became the EA of basketball.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? The people who actually fought against that,
they got that first. They got
the money. When you
like,
yes,
okay, yeah,
exactly. Now I see what EA was doing. Okay, and guess what? All the other companies do. So when we see them, we keep making these same games, and they keep making this. Guess what? It's because technically, it's the gamers' fault. The gamers keep buying. The gamers tell the industry where to go. So you may see a game like Concord and be like, it's mid. Yeah, true. Okay, call it trash, call it mid. But guess what? You're going to go back and revert to Call of Duty, and that's why they keep giving you the same Call of Duty. They keep giving you the same Overwatch. They keep giving you the same 2K and Madden, because the dollars from the gamers say, I don't want anything different. I want this. It's the same old thing. But
J-Dub, again, gaming got too big for its own good.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Without a doubt. I agree.
That's what happened.
Listen, honestly, the gamers are their worst enemy. They are. And the only thing, I'm gonna be honest, the only thing I can think that can save gamers, unfortunately, is the indie market, because the indie market is still the only market where
it's free.
No, it's not that it's free. It's the corporate heads haven't really taken over that juggernaut.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by free.
Yeah. It's free of the machine. It's free of the machine.
Right.
You could look at that game, Vampire Survivors, right? Goddamn little small rinky-dink game, no good graphics and nothing, but it's fun. But guess what? Everybody gravitated towards it. Because it's an indie studio. They didn't have to go to these big banks and borrow fucking $100 million to try to make something that gamers are probably not gonna like, right? And so I think the indie can still keep saving the gaming industry, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to, because they need the capital. They need the capital like the big studios to branch out and start doing other things.
And once they get that capital, they'll become the big studio.
Then they'll become part of the machine.
No, true story. There's a YouTuber I watch, right? And I don't know who the hell he is, because he just pops up on my feed sometimes. But he worked on StarCraft 2, right? He said he spent 2 years overtime working on StarCraft 2. And the game made a shitload of money, was widely successful.
The best game ever made, by the way.
Yeah, it was like the best RTS at the time. Made a shitload of money, right?
Yep.
they came out with a piece of gear for a horse in WoW, and the WoW horse armor for that one horse made more money than StarCraft 2.
Yep, see that shit?
And that right there, gaming is too big. It's too big. It's over.
Listen,
we lost, bro.
I'm gonna partially blame it on what was the first game like to have microtransactions and shit like that?
I'm gonna Elder Scrolls. No. The horse armor in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and before that, the first game with DLC map packs that I can recall is Halo 2.
Yep.
So those are the games that started it all. That horse armor in Elder Scrolls Oblivion made millions of dollars, and it was like $2 for a little gold chest plate on your horse, and it made millions of dollars, and it was all downhill after that.
Yeah. See, it's always some assholes that screw it up for everybody, man. But yeah, shit. I just again. The one of my favorite franchises, Command and Conquer, but the best one of the I would say this the third best game ever made, Command and Conquer Generals. They were supposed to make a sequel to that game, Commander Conquer.
I like Red Alert too. I love Generals too.
Yeah,
hey, yo,
Generals was like the best thing ever.
Dog?
Hell yeah.
When the fuck we gonna play some StarCraft, bro?
Shit, we'll jump on it after we jump on some goddamn Concord on PC. Still to this day, those are like I'm a huge RTS guy. So Command and Conquer Generals.
Yep.
There's a game called World in Conflict. You may or may not know. That's my fucking I have. There's like 10 RTSs that are like my creme de la creme of games of all times, right, from the RTS strategy on PC. But what happened was EA ended up buying the company. Or EA owned it or something, but they were gonna make a sequel and then they went the mobile route. So they made the Command and Conquer Generals like on a mobile phone. And my god, I was screaming because the PC version was actually in the work. Like it was supposed to come out within a year, and then the developer said, "Yeah, we chose to go a different route or whatever." And it's like, they showed us this trailer. I still have the trailer on my computer somewhere, but they showed this fucking trailer for Command and Conquer Generals 2. And I was losing my shit. I waited for that game for years, and then they told me they transitioned to be a mobile game. And I was like, no. And then the mobile game was fucking trash anyway, but it's just EA. It's just that big company. They don't want to invest a lot of money, but they want big returns. That's the problem. That's the EA strategy. That's the big corporate strategy. That's why all of these live service games and stuff, people are looking to invest very little, but they want to get a lot out of it. The recurring. Right now, it's not about, we don't care how many copies we sell. We want these billions of dollars to keep coming in every year. And so it's a race to the top in that shit. And you gotta blame GTA for that shit. Everybody's looking for their GTA type game where you can just make this game and just fucking have it go for fucking 2 decades and without doing much to it. So yeah. So when I say gaming is very very fragile, it is. And only because of that. If gamers just get tired of the same shit, they will ultimately leave gaming. They'll find other hobbies. They'll spend money elsewhere.
Hey, J-Dub.
Yo.
Put us on. Can you put us on like mute to where people can't hear us? I don't want the show to get banned. I got something I got to say real quick.
Absolutely. Let me.
Let's take no Kunin, but
let's take a commercial break real quick.
Yeah, take a commercial break. Let me know when I can say it.
Cool. Hey everybody, we got some breaking news. I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for coming to rock out with me. We'll be back on tomorrow. But yeah, got some breaking news. I gotta go verify some shit. I'm not hearing some good news, man. Coming from the local news channels. So you guys can check into Twitter, check into your local news channels, and hear the news and see if it's actually true. Thank y'all for coming rocking out with us.